the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.
Nightfall descends on the deserted carnival, an eerie silence settling in. This is a place where laughter and thrill once echoed, a place where dreams and nightmares danced together under the neon lights. Now it's a hollow shell, its vibrant colors dulled by the moonlight, its merry-go-round music replaced by the whisper of the wind. In this spectral landscape, a handful of souls brave the darkness. Meet the night shift workers, the guardians of the ghostly grounds. There's Jim, the burly security guard with a heart as soft as cotton candy. Then there's Maria, the custodian who can fix anything from a broken Ferris wheel to a broken heart. Don't forget young Eddie, the rookie, fresh out of high school looking for a summer adventure. These characters work in harmony, each consumed by their own tasks, each dismissing the eerie aura of the carnival as mere superstition. Jim would laugh and say, "Ghosts can't scare me, they should be scared of me." Maria, with her practical mind, would scoff at the notion of hauntings. "This old place just needs a good oiling." Eddie, the youngest, would listen to these tales wide-eyed, half excited, half terrified, but always eager for an adventure. As the night deepens, the carnival takes on a life of its own. The Ferris wheel creaks in the stillness, the roller coaster tracks hum a chilling tune, and the carousel horses seem to stare with frozen, painted eyes. It's as if the carnival is holding its breath, waiting for something or someone. The workers, though unnerved, chalk it up to the wind, to the rust, to the age of the place. After all, who could believe in ghostly apparitions, in phantom laughter and shadows that move on their own? As the clock struck midnight, the workers shrugged off their unease, unaware of the chilling night that lay ahead. The carnival, once a place of joy and merriment, now stands as a monument to the unknown. And as the night shift carries on, they are about to discover that some stories, some legends, are anything but make-believe. The first sign of the supernatural arrived subtly, almost unnoticed. As the carnival workers went about their nightly duties, the stillness of the night was shattered. The rides, dormant and lifeless mere moments ago, sprung to life with a startling spontaneity. The Ferris wheel began its slow, haunting rotation. The merry-go-round's horses bobbed up and down in a possessed dance, and the roller coaster roared into motion, its cars speeding along the tracks with an eerie emptiness. The workers, each in their isolated corners of the carnival, were initially struck with a mixture of confusion and disbelief. Their minds raced to rationalize the strange occurrences. A power surge, one of them suggested. Maybe a prank by some tech-savvy local kids, another mused. Yet as they gathered in the center of the carnival, exchanging their bewildering experiences, the realization began to dawn on them. This was beyond their understanding, beyond their control. Just as the fear began to creep into their hearts, a new sound filled the air. It started as a faint whisper, a distant echo carried by the wind, but it soon grew louder, clearer. It was laughter. Not the joyful laughter of a child, but something far more sinister. It was a ghostly cackle, echoing through the deserted carnival, bouncing off the rusted metal structures and empty food stalls. It was a sound that belonged to the night, to the darkness, a sound that had no place in the world of the living. The laughter seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, a spectral soundtrack to their shared nightmare. It hung in the air, a chilling reminder of their isolation and vulnerability. The workers looked at each other, their faces pale under the flickering carnival lights. As the laughter faded into the night, a chill ran down their spines, a sense of dread settling in their hearts. The carnival, once a place of joy and laughter, had transformed into a sinister playground, and they were trapped in it, alone and frightened, with the night far from over. The strange occurrences were no longer dismissible as mere coincidences. As the night crawled on, the deserted carnival took on an increasingly eerie aura, its once vibrant atmosphere swallowed by an unsettling silence. The supernatural events began to escalate, each one more terrifying than the last. The once harmless flickering lights now danced with a malevolent intent, casting a ghostly glow around the grounds. The chilling wind carried with it the sound of ghostly laughter, echoing through the carnival, all the more terrifying for its source remaining unseen. The shadowy figures, once mere fleeting apparitions, started to become more prevalent, wandering the grounds with an aimless yet unnerving purpose. Their formless silhouettes, barely discernible in the dim light, seemed to lurk around every corner, adding a new layer of terror to the already haunted carnival. The rides, usually full of joy and laughter, took on a life of their own, starting and stopping with an eerie unpredictability that sent chills down the spines of the workers. The workers, once dismissive of the supernatural occurrences, now found themselves on the edge of panic. Their initial bravado faded into a growing fear that gnawed at their courage, their laughter replaced by hushed whispers and wide-eyed glances. The carnival, once their playground, had turned into their prison. In desperation, they tried to escape the confines of the haunted grounds, only to find the exits mysteriously locked and the outside world unreachable. The once familiar paths twisted and turned into an unending maze, leading them back to the heart of the carnival. Their attempts to call for help were met with static on their phones, the signal seemingly swallowed up by the supernatural forces at play. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they realized there was no escape. The carnival, once a place of laughter and joy, had become their nightmare, the chilling laughter of unseen specters, their only company in the darkness. Every shadow held a potential threat, every sound a harbinger of horror. The haunting had intensified, and they were trapped in the heart of it all. Driven by fear and desperation, they decided to confront the horror. A decision that would lead them down a path of chilling discoveries and heart-stopping revelations. Their hearts pounded in their chests like drums in the night, each beat echoing their growing dread, yet they pushed forward, driven by a need to understand, to know what was happening in this eerie, deserted carnival. They began a frantic search, scouring every nook and cranny of the carnival grounds. They pored over the creaking rides, the dilapidated stalls, the forsaken games, hunting for anything that could shed light on the strange occurrences plaguing them. Their flashlights cut through the darkness, casting long, ominous shadows that danced and twisted with their every movement. Their search led them to the heart of the carnival, an old, cobweb-laden office that had been abandoned for years. Inside, they discovered a cache of dusty records and faded newspapers, relics of a bygone era. As they sifted through the yellowed pages, they uncovered a tragic tale that had been lost to time. Many years ago, a terrible accident had occurred at the carnival. A ride malfunctioned, leading to a catastrophe that claimed innocent lives. The news sent a shiver down their spines. It was as if the carnival was haunted by a tragic past it couldn't escape, its joyous laughter replaced by ghostly echoes of sorrow and pain. The more they delved into the records, the more they felt the weight of the past pressing down on them. The air grew colder, the shadows deeper. Each revelation was a puzzle piece, slowly forming a picture of a carnival steeped in sorrow and tragedy. But the truth they uncovered was far more than a tale of an unfortunate accident. They discovered stories of unexplained disappearances, of spectral sightings, of laughter that faded into cries of terror. A chilling narrative that painted the carnival not as a place of joy and laughter, but a cursed ground haunted by its tragic past. As they dug deeper, they stumbled upon a truth far more horrifying than they could have ever imagined. The carnival was not just deserted. It was a spectral playground, a haunting ground for the souls trapped in its tragic history. With each passing minute, the line between reality and nightmare blurred. The carnival, once a place of joyous laughter and childlike wonder, had morphed into a petrifying playground of paranormal activity. The workers, once jovial and carefree, were now gripped by an unshakable dread that threaded itself through their every thought and action. Each creak of the Ferris wheel, each echo of spectral laughter was a chilling reminder of the unknown horrors that lurked in the shadows. As the night deepened, so did the terror. The workers found themselves in a terrifying game of cat and mouse, with the unseen force leading them on a wild, fear-laden chase. The roller coaster roared to life in the dead of night, its empty cars hurtling through the darkness like phantom specters. The laughter of unseen children echoed through the desolate grounds, bouncing off the rusted metal and faded wood of the abandoned stalls. The workers, driven by a mixture of fear and determination, tried to unravel the mystery. They searched through old records, pored over dusty maps, and even dared to venture into the heart of the haunted house. They were on the cusp of a breakthrough, the truth barely a whisper away. But just as the puzzle pieces were falling into place, the unseen force struck again. In an instant, a gust of wind swept through the grounds, scattering the records and blowing out the lights. The laughter grew louder, the shadows darker. It was as if the carnival itself was alive, its ghostly inhabitants reveling in the terror they were causing. The workers could only watch in helpless horror as the rides whirred to life, their lights flashing erratically in the pitch-black night. The records scattered, the lights flickered, and then darkness swallowed them whole. What happened next remains a mystery to this day. The Cursed Carnival Night Shift is a chilling tale that continues to haunt those who dare to delve into its unresolved mystery. Even now, years later, the spectral laughter can still be heard on quiet nights, a grim reminder of the horrors that once unfolded.
Hit the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.